with Marcus, who's responsible for the Guild and Fine and Country. Marcus, talk to me. What's the Guild and Fine and Country? Let's do the Guild first.
Yes.
What does the Guild mean to you?
It means to me, so on a practical level, it's a network of 800 leading agents who set out to raise standards and performance and basically give their clients a better service. Okay. That's the essence of it. In reality, I think even beyond that, we've got an emotional connection in the Guild, and that we believe that we are a profession we should be proud, and by promoting standards and doing things better, we'll be more successful and we can have a positive impact.
So it's a club for estate agents and letting agents?
It's a club for the best estate agents, and that doesn't mean the biggest. That means those who, and it's a pejorative term, but in my view, it's the agents who are most committed to doing the best job for their clients.
What, so independents? Agents?
All independents. We don't have any corporates. That's a founding principle, and we operate exclusively, so we only give membership to one agent in an area.
Really? What, so if there's one in a town, you can't have a second one?
Yeah, generally. I mean, if it's a city, we can have more, but we give each member a defined area exclusively, because otherwise it becomes like a portal. So we are giving them a way that they can demonstrate their difference, give them exclusivity, if you like. Okay,
so let's say on average it's probably around, give or take, £400 a month. That's a lot of money to some agents. What do you get for your money?
It's no money at all if you use it in reality.
Go on then, tell me.
So if you think...
You sound like an estate agent.
Well, that's a compliment, really. I've never been one. So I would say to agents, there's only 3 ways you can make yourself differentiate yourself. One is your brand, hopefully not to be copied. One is your culture, how you do things, how you care for your clients. And the third is being in the Guild. And there are very few more things that an agent sells. It could be your window display or your training or your advertising. So, it could be copied by the competition.
Are you just buying a badge, though?
Not at all, no.
Okay.
And I would argue that any Guild member that uses it even half successfully, it is a major tool in their business success.
Okay.
So we talk about what we do under 4 key pillars.
Go on, tell me.
One is marketing.
Right.
So in marketing, you've got the magazines that we produce for you on a regular basis. We've got the use of Park Lane.
They're quite good, actually, if you don't mind me saying.
I think they're fantastic. People say that print is old-fashioned, but it's still highly successful.
Old school. I mean, let's be honest, there's nothing better than a bit of, printed media. They say is the new old new.
If someone came to see me and said we have our own dedicated magazine which promotes the Guild, is shared across all the regions.
Does it have like properties in and other things like that?
And each agent has 8 pages of their own properties, and then it has properties from the regional agents. So you could say to your vendor, not only are you into our magazine, which you distribute locally, and we know they get read, and there's electronic versions of that, but all the other agents in your region are also promoting you. So you appear in
your property would appear in this like regional magazine?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they are a bit old school, but they do work. I do like them, and they've got coffee table ability, haven't they?
They do. Well, vendors like to see their properties in print, particularly when they're beautifully displayed.
What's the second one?
So the second one is IT. Now that's become really important for estate agents. So we now host 250 websites, half our agents' websites, and you and I know that people will look at an agent online before they decide whether to ring them up.
Yep.
So the way you present yourself and your property and your expertise and the fact you're a member of an organisation like the Guild with high standards could make the difference of being called out or not. So I say that your brand wins you the right to the conversation. It's your ability and experience that will win you the business.
What's the third part?
The third part is the part that is actually closest to my heart, which is trust and confidence. We know that agents have generally quite a bad rap, they're poorly viewed, although the best agents actually try and do an extremely good job. But it's very hard for them to keep on top of all the changes in legislation that take place. So we have, through the Guild, through a whole suite of training programmes and seminars and supporting tools.
Because you've got Paul Offley, who, I'll be honest with you, is a friend of mine, but to be honest with you, he is Mr. Compliance UK Estate Agency and Lettings. It's amazing. How the hell did you get him?
Because he fell in love with our, to be honest, he fell in love with our brands and aspirations. He wants to make something better like we do.
I mean, I'll be brutally honest with you, is that I'm not actually being paid a penny to be here today, but I just love what the Guild stands for, and when your colleague Ian asked me to come along, I just said I've got to be there, because it's like a big club of estate agents that all share ideas.
Well, just for any agent, so say you've got an office in Doncaster, it's quite lonely because you can't talk to your competition.
It's a lonely game being a bit business owner.
Because they're independent and they can't talk to the competition. So how would you really know what to do about money laundering or GPEA? So we have a system, whereas the guild member...
We could go on one of those websites where everyone bitches to each other, but that's not... you don't learn that much.
But we have a way the agent can log in. There's 200 videos available to watch.
200?
200 videos to watch, and they're all segmented. You can take a test at the end of the video to see if you understood it. You can track your learning. You can write notes against the video.
Can you do that with your staff? Watch it as well?
Your staff can do it individually or together. Every staff member has access.
Yes.
If they pass the exams at the end, we give them certification to prove their learning, which is now approved by trading standards. What a wonderful way to say to the public, you are dealing with a professional who takes responsibilities really seriously.
Talking of trading standards, you've got those nice trading standards approved ID cards. I think that was a fantastic idea.
It was great, and I was part of securing that, and trading standards, for them it's a no-brainer because they want to see higher standards, and they looked at the work we'd done and the care we took and just went, we'd love to work with you, and we're the first people in the UK to get that.
Brilliant. So come on, what's the fourth then?
And the fourth is what I call agency services. Now these get a bit of a poor reputation because they think it's agents trying to make money. But in my view, if I'm moving house, I want my agent to help me. I want access to the best mortgage rates.
Yes.
I'd like to know that, for example, I could get some help with the conveyancing or removals, the services and broadband in some cases. So if my agent, their job is to help you move, not just to sell you a house.
Indeed.
So if as an estate agent, I can give you options that make that process better or more efficient, or by getting access to better mortgage, you can afford a more expensive house than you would have done. I think that's part of the service. And if you don't do it, you're basically saying to your client, please go somewhere else and come back if you don't get an answer. So we give agents a range of services which give more options for their clients, which actually make the agents...
Because you get group deals, don't you?
We do get group deals. We give agents access to rates they would never get on their own. But fundamentally, I think it's helping the client move, and that's what great agents do.
Of course it is. So it's basically a club for estate agents where the more you put in, the more you get out. You can share ideas with fellow people who are competitors but not competitors.
We have a referral system because 10% of people move out of area.
True.
You can connect up agents to buyers and sellers. So if someone's buying in your area, you could help sell their property and vice versa, and the agent's sharing the success of that.
It sounds like a bit of a no-brainer to me, if you don't mind me saying.
I joined in 2008 when the market was really tough, really hard, and I thought three things. One is I thought the principle was fantastic.
Okay.
The second is the standards are excellent, and the third is there's lots of change coming to the sector. So we can help independents through change, make sure we're working with those that are most professional, and engage them so that together they're bigger than they would be on their own. It's a fantastic principle.
How can an estate agent find out, A, if there's a space in their town, and B, how can they join?
So very simply, they can go onto our guild website and they can inquire, and there's a map on there so they can see if there's a vacancy. I still encourage them to contact us anyway because we do get some change of membership from time to time. Or in the city, we can have more than one agent in some cities. We've got 4 in Cambridge, for example, which is a big area. So if they inquire, we'll happily have a conversation with them. We'll explain what we do and test that we have a common view of the world, if I can describe it as that, because we're trying to get to bigger principles than just Untitled magazine. And then we give them opportunity to join if there's a vacancy.
Excellent. Well, guys, I'm not being paid to say this, but you'd be daft to not check them out. So thank you very much, Marcus.
My pleasure.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.